Hey, I'm Julie. Welcome back to my studio. This week, I am bringing back my 10-minute sketch tutorials where we pick an image and see how far we can get in a painting in 10 minutes. We emphasize working quickly, making quick color choices, just being a little bit fast and loose. And ultimately, we're working on our hand-eye coordination, which is what quick sketching is all about. Today, because it is October, happy fall, we're going to be painting a pumpkin. And as you can see, this is not a perfect pumpkin or a necessarily super beautiful pumpkin, but this is all about just pushing ourselves to paint quicker and to have fun and to be a little bit sketchy with our paints. So if you're up for it, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I've got my picture of the pumpkin on my iPad, and I just love these sort of fairy tale-like pumpkins, so that's what we're gonna paint. And then I have my colors laid out. We've got white, yellow ochre, Quinacridone Red, and Phthalo Green. And I will link all the supplies and list out the colors that I'm using in the description of the video, so you can find that down below. Okay, so I'm gonna set my timer for 10 minutes and let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna make a color, kind of like just that peachy, pinky color with a little yellow, ochre, and red and white, so that I can start sort of sketching out the shape of my pumpkin, and this is fine. I'm not too particular about this color. I'm gonna add some water and try to work it in there to make it a little bit easier to sketch. And okay, so because we are being quick, I am not gonna stress if I don't get the exact number of lumps on this pumpkin, but I'm gonna just add in these little curving lines to show kind of where they go towards the middle. And then they bulge out. I think the most important thing to remember is this outline is not a straight line, it's a lumpy line. So we're gonna need these curves to kind of show that the pumpkin has those lumps. And then the front part. And pumpkins are awesome because they are just always funky shaped. There's like no normal shaped pumpkin. And so if you even make it a little bit different, it's fine. They're all, like every single one is weird and unique. I'm getting kind of smushed up against the edge of the paper, so it's gonna be a little off center, but that's fine. Okay, I think I want this top part to be a little taller. There we go. I'll bring my lines inwards. Okay, so now I think I want my stem to be like right there, but we'll put that on later. That's just helping me know like where these lines are headed. Okay, let's go ahead and just do a little fill in the whole pumpkin. And I think for that, I'm gonna go ahead and make it a little lighter and a little bit more pink with some white and some red. There, that's fine. Okay. Just real quickly, we're gonna fill in those sections. And you know what, I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter because I don't wanna lose where those lines are. So I was just thinking, oh, if I make it the same color as the lines or the same value, it's gonna be really hard to see where my lines are. So my little sections. So we'll just make it a little lighter so that'll stand out just enough so we know where to put some of our darker values later on. I don't really like doing my sketch with a really dark value because it's harder to get rid of that really intense bold color. So kind of a medium value is what I like to go with. Okay, I'm being real fast and sketchy, so I'm not worrying too much about getting rid of every little bit of our white paper. And since I know that's going to be the stem, I'm just going to leave that be. I'm not going to try filling that in or worrying about it right now. This is really pretty. I just generally gravitate more towards peachy, pinky versions of orange rather than intense autumnal versions of orange. And so I love this color. This is so pretty. I love these types of pumpkins. Okay, let's go ahead and define our like little creases in there. So I'm gonna make a brownish color with red and green and yellow. There we go. And we're just going to kind of darken some of those lines. And we're also going to add a bit of a shadow where the bottoms of the sections go. Now I'm looking at the photo and I don't want to make them all like just like it's a black or brown outline around the image. I'm trying to look and see like where it gets a little bit more shadowy, where it's a little less. Generally, the sections that are behind another one, they're looking like they're getting more shadow on them. And I'm not stressing about where, you know, this goes perfectly because we're going to come back with probably like an orangey color to kind of soften some of this. And as we're working quickly, it's just forcing our eyes to see things as fast as possible. Quick sketching is a thing that we did as like a warm-up technique in my art classes in college. And so you are just forced to like act quickly, make fast decisions. If it doesn't work out, you kind of figure out a way to make it work. Okay, let me check our time. Okay, 4 minutes. So I'm gonna make kind of our orangey color now. And I'm just gonna slap it right in the brown there and then kind of tweak it from there. The brown made it more of like an earthy sort of orange. So I like that. Let's just test it. I think that's a little on the yellow side. I'm gonna put a little white in there and a little bit more red. There. Okay, so these pumpkins have so many interesting colors just all together in them. It's a little bit too dark. And so it's almost like they're patchy. They've got patches of colors overlapping each other. Oh, that's nice. And so I'm just going to kind of put this on where I see the orange showing up kind of at the bottom of the sections of the pumpkin. And then I'm also trying to see if it like speckles towards the middle a little bit. I can put it on there. And this is fun. I like this. And as we kind of move around the back, they're a little bit shadowy back there too. So I kind of can just blend this orange into the peachy color. Okay, because we only have 2 minutes left. Okay, quick. There's so much more we could have done with this pumpkin. There's like shades of blue and even of green in there. There's so many interesting things. So I'm gonna do a really quick little stem with green and yellow ochre, because yellow ochre kind of makes that green more muted, more kind of earthy. This is not going to be a perfect representation of the color in the photo. I'm gonna make it more whimsical. I'm gonna make our stem go up higher a little bit because I like it that way. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna just get some yellow ochre and kind of streak it in, and maybe a bit of our peachy color to give it a few ridges. There. Okay, I'm gonna add a highlight color because I think it needs something a shade lighter really quick. Okay, so white, and just swirl it in with the peachy color. We want something lighter in value than our lightest color. And I gotta be careful not to overdo this. But I think it needs just a pop of something. Oops, oh gosh, I touched the green somehow. There we go. Well, it's got some unexpected green. And then I'm just gonna dab, dab, dab. There, okay. My timer is going off, but I'm gonna cheat and do a little swipe of this, because I think this main section that's like the focal point needed a little bit more help. Okay. All right, brush this down. All right, so this obviously could have had a lot more work on it, but I think we got pretty good, like a good foundation in 10 minutes. If I was to push this further, I will just show you, I'd probably put on a little bit of that bluish grayish tone that I saw in there. Kind of that, it almost looks like a dusty, hazy sort of color, which almost like tends towards purple, and purple coming up against this orange would be really lovely. And then I probably would finesse the stem a lot more and maybe put in one more darker value in the creases. But in 10 minutes, I think this was pretty good. Thanks so much for painting with me today. I hope that you had fun in your sketchbook and kind of pushed yourself to maybe try something a little bit out of your comfort zone. If you're an acrylic painter looking for more guidance in your paintings, I would love for you to check out my online classes. You can find them linked below in the description. All right, I will see you in the next video, and until then, happy painting.